in the spirit of the character creation and in Maddie Morgsdom here. A little curious as to how it would look to mix all three, but that's a little extreme. It's certainly doable. That would be fun, but for the time that I have available to make only one more character, at least on stream, it's a little bit more ambitious than perhaps what I would be hoping to do. But I do agree. It'd be fun to mix and match, and maybe for the next Unearthed Arcana week that we're going to do at the end of this month, for the 4th week in January here, maybe we can do a mix all three. Just have fun that way. Maybe we'll make only one character of each and have more fun blending. I don't know. We'll see. We'll check it out. I'm always open to your all suggestions and, you know, things that you'd like to see and you have an interest in. Bubonic. Oh, look at that Bubonic. And I love that little doggo. Oh, goodness. Woo! Ooh, pardon me. Thank you very much for the bit, Bubonic. So let's do this. Bubonic one will roll for which of the two that we're going to turn into a multi-class. I want you to roll a d4, and if it's a 1 or a 2, it's going to be a Twilight Cleric. If it's a 3 or a 4, we'll make a Wildfire Druid. Oh, and 9 more bits too. Oh, Bubonic. Thank you. Oh, woo. Stops on a 2. All right, so we're going to be making a multi-class character that is a Cleric / and then we'll get to something. But that's going to be a Twilight Domain / some other subclass. All right, so this is where we're going to start. And we're going to go for a chunkier blend than the 14 and 3. So we'll see where this ends up. Next up, Hark, will you please roll a percentile to find out if we have a female character or a male character? $55. We have a male character. And now for our races, we've been pretty concentrated between elf, dwarf, and dragonborn. Even our halfling was pretty much like half dwarfling. And so let's find out if we're staying consistent or if we have an outlier somewhere in this group of students and staff that apparently are getting pulled into some epic anime adventure in this idol academy. And so just otherness. Actually, just otherness. I know you're curious about the class. I'll let you roll the class. Totem Fiend. Will you roll a d10 in chat to find out what which race we're going to be? An 8. A human? The rare human? This must be the only human to exist in this whole fantasy world. This is the weird race. Like the only race that has round ears and doesn't have something kind of like supernatural. This is the foreign exchange student who came in from a weird land, and people look at him or her, at him and are just like, "Whoa, what are you? What do you do?" "Oh, I'm kind of good at stuff." Whoa. That's what we're gonna find out. So we have a human. Master Mage, will you please roll a d4 in chat? And, oh, there's a notification for that. 1 and 2, it's a standard human. 3 and 4, it's a variant human. It's the human in a demon school, kind of, Master Mage. 3, we have a variant human. A variante. Those are medium-sized. Okay, next up. Who else do we have? Dr. Squiggums, are you still here? If you are, can you please type exclamation point 1D100 in chat to determine the alignment of our weirdo human in our fantasy race world? This is an isekai. A human just dropped into a fantasy world. And... Hi, Daly. Daly, you're here just in time. I might call on you to make a roll. All right, well, who else in chat can I call upon to make a roll? Perhaps Daly, will you roll a percentile and tell us the alignment of our weirdo human in our fantasy idol anime academy? This is a freaking isekai. We've been calling it the whole time. I'm just an average anime protagonist. My bangs are always in my eyes, causing it to darken out. I'm pretty average at everything except judo. Or, you know, just like we have like one skill we're super good at, and that turns out to be the one thing that we thread through every needle that is a problem to us. We have a lawful good human. All right, we know that he's going to be 17 levels of Twilight Cleric and something else. Now, are we going to take any other feats? As a variant, we're getting one for free. Though, are we going to take any more instead of ability scores? Grimvex, will you please roll a percentile in chat and tell us, are we going to take any more feats? Stops on a 60? No. So we're getting the one for being a human, having our health, and the others are we're going to take our stat bumps as we get them from our multi-class, from our classes. Now, what is our human's background? Solace, will you please roll a 20 in chat? Yeah. Oh no, I died and got reincarnated into a human in a fantasy world. I mean, if that's not an isekai title right there, I don't know what is, Solace. Stops on a 1. We're an acolyte. Of course we're an acolyte. And we've picked up the Twilight domain. But we're splashing into something else. Because anime protagonists are average in many things, but that one thing else that they do otherwise is the key to victory. So here we go. We are an acolyte. Maybe we were also brought back from the dead like the other one, but instead of a botched reincarnation, we were, I don't know, like we were a dragonborn and all our scales fell off and we're a human. Poor Rumakun can't resist doing things for anyone who asks. Which anime is that referencing? The last character is going for like the extremely average, like male anime protagonist arc. Is that what you're talking about? I'm a human who's a cleric, and I took the Acolyte background as a cleric. Gotcha. All right. So here we go. Let's find out the one thing that's not making us extremely vanilla as a human. Yes, we are a cleric, but we're good at something else. And so, just otherness, I told you can roll this one. Will you roll a d12 in chat, please? Hark is thinking on a paladin. Stops on 3. We are a multi-classed cleric and cleric. Even our multi-class is extremely average. You know what, though? Honestly, skipping over Cleric because we are a Cleric, the next choice is Druid. And so I guess we are building our Cleric Druid that Just Otherness was talking about. The dice have called for it, and so is the fact that the story we're writing needs the extremely average male protagonist who plays a wisdom cleric, but also dabbles in a wisdom class. Double the cleric is double the healing. All right, so we have a Twilight cleric. Oh, God. I represent the coolness of the Twilight, but also the intensity of the Wildfire. Are we... We're building like a Mary Sue anime protagonist now? Gosh. I'm going to call this a Wi-Fi Druid for Wildfire, an abbreviation. We'll see if we get there, Bubonic. We ended back up with the other option from the start. Hark, we can't escape this. The story writes itself, and it must be written. We are simply the agents for the story. We are not the ones in control. We are simply the engine which turns it into reality. No class feature sources. I mean, there's one for the Circle of the Land, but we're going to get that included with the... We're going to get that one included. So now we're going to a human. Human. Human? Human! Where are you? Okay. All right, Hark. Will you please roll to find out how old? Yep, now it'll be, do we have a student or someone else? Rolls to find out how old he is. 55. We have another adult. So it could be a staff member, could be someone who lives in the lower city or something. No, because it stacks. It's just, so 3 levels of cleric plus 3 levels of cleric is 6 levels of cleric. So you're a 6th level cleric. You might be able to talk to your DM, Solace, about that, if you want to try and dabble in 2 domains or something. But you'd want to sit down and work through that. All right, so we have an adult human. So adults are 18 plus 1d26 years. So I have our modifier of plus 18, and I'm going to make a 26-sided die. Yeah, 55 is the adult is from 36 to 60 on a percentile. And so adult humans are 18 plus 1d26 years. He is 23 years old. So a Japanese college student got hit by a truck. Fell into a fantasy world. Oh, another 55. Oh, well, ooh, auspicious then. Maybe those are your lucky numbers. Adult at 23 here. All right. Now he starts at 4'8". We're adding 2d10. I'll roll those up real quick. We're adding 15 inches to his height. So that is 6'1". He's kind of a tall boy here. And we're going to multiply that 15 by 2d4 by 6. So we're adding 90 pounds. He is 200 pounds. We have kind of a jock, I guess? So a super senior football player, he was held behind so he could play football one more season, apparently died in the real world, got transported to a land of elves, dwarves, and dragonborn, and is now embroiled in a case that's about to rip this magical performing arts academy apart. And has to manage all these factions. Yeah, that's true. Might be a college student who got his master's degree as a first-year teacher, and so something happened. He was teaching his first year, and he got transported to the realm of elves, dwarves, and dragonborn, and he's a teacher, and so he's in the middle here. I know Solace. It gets a lot of people. Just so that it says, if you have time to change him at home, this would definitely be the triple classed to be the trope of the one protagonist that is different than everyone, who is good at everything, everyone else does. You are absolutely correct, Just Otherness. If you want to play with this at home and make that trifecta, this would be that kind of, I'm average, but I'm a Mary Sue. It is spooky how this stuff it writes itself. Okay, Just Otherness, will you please roll 4d6 in chat? And Solace, will you give me a d8 roll, please? We got to give him a personality, ideal, bond, and flaw. He might have been teaching religion even, and he falls into a place where this is. Do I speak common? I do. Where it's prevalent. 5, 3, and 4. That one time I died and was sent by my god to go convert people in a fantasy world to my religion? Something like that. 5, 3, and 4. And then Solace gave us a 3 for a personality trait in our Acolyte. Either that or this is the personality we developed since falling here. And then lastly here, Master Mage, will you give me a d8 roll for our personality trait number 2? And a 7. Very good. Now, if you're playing along at home, crack open those players' handbooks, go to chapter 4, and here we go. We have an Acolyte. Insight and religion are going to be our proficiencies. We're going to get 2 languages of our choice. We're going to find out shortly, Hark. We're going to get a holy symbol, a gift when you enter the priesthood, a prayer book or wheel. All right, so our holy symbol can very well be a trinket, a gift that we were given to invoke maybe a strange god in a strange land. Trinket number something or another. And Grimvex, can you roll a percentile if you're still with us here this morning? Can you roll a percentile and tell us which trinket our character has? Bubonic one, can you roll a percentile? We might have lost Grimvex. $48. I mean, Hark, if you want to roll it just for poops and ha-has, you're welcome to roll it in chat. I mean, as long as you're not clogging, you're not like clogging chat every 30 seconds with a roll. All right. He got a 66 and not a 55. How about that? Now, our background feature is Shelter of the Faithful. So we can find food and lodging, maybe even shelter from people pursuing us, information resources from those who are friendly to us and our faith, as well as those for whom we vouch. Now for our personality, and let's find out our anime protagonist personality, everyone. Number 3. I see omens in every event and action. The gods try to speak to us. We just need to listen. And our other personality trait is I've enjoyed fine food, drink, and high society among my temple's elite. Rough living grates on me. So he certainly is fitting into the so we have this foreigner, this strange looking human, ugly in this fantasy world. A human falls into the world and is taken in as someone who is apparently prophetic, speaks of the gods and such, is lavished, and now things are coming to a head, and he's gonna have to leave this nice lifestyle, especially after saying, life is horrible back in Japan. I was gonna teach, but those high school kids are always getting into fights and all the other stuff that literally happens in manga and anime. I don't want to go back. He found a comfy life here, and now has been brought in, spent the first couple months, the grapes fed to him, or ostrich feather fans and everything. And now he, the world is going to depend on our extremely average person to do something. Our ideal is number 5. What do we want to see in the world? Faith. I trust that my deity will guide my actions. I have faith that if I work hard with the power of friendship, things will go well. Or through the process of Deus Ex Machina, I have faith that if I work hard, things will go well. I'm an average anime protagonist who shouldn't do most of the stuff that I do, and yet it always seems to happen anyway. Oh well, that's life. Good thing that happened. Good thing that happened. Good thing that happened. Hello, Raven. Is the deity Captain Planet? We could come up with it. I mean, we have this Twilight domain, so a god has seen fit to grant us this cool, soothing Twilight domain. At the same time, nature, we're kind of a Mary Sue yin-yang of, I represent all that is peaceful and quiet and tranquil about the Twilight, and yet I also represent the raging wildfires of nature and brightness and light. At the same time, in equal measure, despite being half and half. Our bond to the world is number 3. I owe my life to the priest who took me in when my parents died. So maybe he actually fell through when he was in high school or something, or younger, and he was secreted away by the Academy for being an interesting species. The Onomancers couldn't do much with him because maybe he didn't remember his name, but the other two faiths found in equal measure him to be just this vapid, empty receptacle for all they could teach him, because he is average anime protagonist. Which anime is this Aruma from? And lastly, his flaw is number 4. I am inflexible in my thinking. I'm going to suggest a plan, and we're going to take the plan. And the plan's going to work out. Okay, yeah, he's totally a true average good human. I stand for justice. I mean, he's lawful good. He wants justice. He wants friendship. Oh, that's the name. Oh, I thought you were just quoting a line or something, Bubonic One. Gotcha. All right. Sorry, I thought you were just like, yeah, I'm shouting this out because it's like a tagline. And meanwhile, it is the title the whole time. I'm sorry. Gosh, I feel like a fool. Welcome to Demon School. I mean, we got the true name, the Onomancers there that are dabbling in demonic anatomy and such, so... I love that we have average male protagonist. Next up, we have our, as a human, a variant, we get 2 different ability scores of our choice, and we gain proficiency in 1 skill of our choice, and a feat. So we're going to come down here, we're going to get a feat of some kind. We're going to get another skill. I've enjoyed food, drink, and high society. Rough living grates on me. I trust my deity will guide my actions. I think persuasion? Yeah, Grimvex, thank you very much for hanging out with us. The languages, yeah, I mean, the languages are going to be, I mean, really, we get common and one other. And I just leave these as fill in the blank if we come down to it. Are you asking what started my love for D&D, Jose? If not a one-shot, then like a short story, like maybe like 4 or 5 sessions. Or honestly, just treat it like a season. Everyone starts, I don't know, everyone can start at like level 1 in every episode. Every episode you just gain a level. And then you go through a full season and you're already almost like 20 or something. It was being able to play with friends in an adventure. And no, actually, I take that back. What really got me started was a family member of mine had an old monster manual. And when I was very young, I looked through it and I was inspired by the pictures. And I was coming up with stories in my mind for all these kind of sketched out creatures in this book. And then from there, I have always been like drawn to fun stories and storytelling. And in college, when 3rd edition came out, I had a bunch of friends who played, and that's what really solidified it for me, Jose. A short campaign is a season in anime. Unless it's going into multiple seasons, then it can go slower. And of course, we got to have the filler arcs. Come on. All right, so we are a medium-sized creature. Our base speed is 30 feet. And we can speak 4 languages, which is probably going to be Dwarven, Elvish, and Draconic. Or we eschew one of those. Maybe the Dragonborn didn't teach us Draconic, but we have our native language of where we came from. All right, so what would be a skill that he would pick up here? I'm inflexible in my thinking. I owe my life to the priest who took me when my parents died. Probably persuasion. We're very persuasive. I see omens. I have to tell people about the omens. I have to persuade them on my side. Filler arcs are downtime, says Kate. Oh yeah, filler arcs are downtimes. That's a good translation for that. Pardon. Oh yeah, we've had beach episodes on Tuesday. I don't think we've had a hot springs episode yet, Bubonic. So we gotta choose a feat. I already have the skill, but we're gonna keep moving. And now we're going to build. We're going to build our cleric. And this is the deciding moment. Where do we want to make this split? Now, normally, when we do this exercise, at least half or a majority goes to the original class. Now we're level 17. We're character level 17. So even if it was an 8 and 8 split, we would actually be 9 and 8. Now if we did that, We would get a divine domain feature at 8. 9 would simply just give us another spell slot. If we look at druids, 8, a wild shape improvement, and an ASI. And so, really, I mean, we'd get a druid circle feature at 6, but we wouldn't get another one till 10, and that would be more than half of our 17 we're looking at. So I guess in order to stay average, why don't we just go 9 levels of Cleric and 8 levels of Druid? And eventually, he'll probably just be 10 and 10 when he reaches level 20. I'll be half Druid, half Cleric. All wisdom. All the time. So let's go 9 and 8. Raven says, I'm safe from home early. And Mom says, hello. We just got back from the local game store. And though Christmas is a month away. Oh, I saw the books. Yeah. I saw your Vampire the Masquerade books. That's awesome. That is awesome. And Raven, I hope that you're going to be able to get a good game in and make some wonderful memories. All right, let's split both clerics. Now this is where we can actually combine the two. Both clerics and druids are D8 hit die classes, and so if we wanted to, we could split in our hit die little boxes over here. You know, 8 or it would be 9d8 and 8d8. But honestly, it doesn't matter which ones we expend because they're all d8s. So we're a 17 d8 hit die character. We're going to gain the starting proficiencies of our cleric. And I'll show you what happens when we add druid in here. But we are going to get... armor is going to end up being all. Because, you know, we built those Twilight characters before, and they get heavy armor and martial weapons. So we get all armor and shields. And then we also get simple weapons and martial weapons. We are also going to get proficiency with simple wisdom and charisma are going to be our saving throws. And then we're going to choose 2 skills from history, insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion. Well, we already have persuasion. I wonder then if we don't take persuasion as our class and we don't take something else that's kind of a wild, like a wild... Oh, you know what? What about deception? Because we're lying to people that we're some, like, prophet from another world. We're trying to maintain this lifestyle. And, of course, that builds us up and brings us into this story. And then we have to make amends for all the lies that have built to this point. By actually getting up and adventuring. Deception would be a good one, actually. So we'll take persuasion from our cleric proficiencies. And we'll also take... we'll take medicine. And remember, I want you all... you know, we have persuasion. I want you all to remember, medicine isn't just... oh, I sprained an ankle and I need it, you know, I need it bound. Or I got a boo-boo and I'm going to put a leaf on it to make it better. Medicine can also be, you know, psychological or emotional medicine. And so this person could be trying to, like, teach a philosophy from the other world as a way to help people come to terms with things that are happening. You know, it'd be like... you're bringing the concept of Buddhism into a world that's in the midst of suffering with no end. Suffering and strife. And you're coming in here even as a part-time, you know, if we're an acolyte at like a temple, like it could be Buddhist, it could be Shinto or something. You know, we put in our part-time at the local temple back in Japan, and then we got hit by the truck and sent here. We're bringing even this other way of thinking, this other philosophy to a foreign people, and they would see us as a prophet. And as we see signs and everything, I think deception is a very good strong point for this. But we could probably use medicine to help cure people's woes that way, too. Time for bed. All right, see you, Bubonic. Thanks for hanging out and helping us make these characters. Starting equipment, I'm not going to worry about the starting equipment. You know, we have our holy symbol that was given to us that's very special, whatever number 48 is, and we'll get to that. But do we still have a starting crossbow? Probably not. You know, this is just going to come down to, are we wielding strength weapons or dex weapons? And we can come back and fill in details later. All right. So we have 9 levels of Cleric. I'm not worried about the spell slots. We're going to get to that in a second here. So we're going to know 4 Cleric cantrips. So 4 Cleric cantrips. Our proficiency bonus is still a +6 because your proficiency bonus is based on your character level, not your class levels. So we're still character level 17. We just happen to be a 9th level Cleric. We are going to get Channel Divinity. And it is actually going to turn into Destroy Undead. And by 8th level, it'll be CR1 or lower. Destroy Undead CR1. And, of course, at 10th level, we'll get Divine Intervention if it hasn't already been happening, by the way, everyone. But we're not gonna list that because we don't get that just yet. We have our Channel Divinity. Dun, dun, dun. And now we get to tack on our Twilight stuff. We're going to get some domain spells. Our domain. There we go. We're going to get Fairy Fire. Now these are always prepared. They don't count against the number of spells that we can prepare otherwise. Sleep. Darkness. Invisibility. Aura of Vitality. Leomund's Tiny Hut. Aura of Life. Greater Invisibility. Circle of Power. And Dream. We are also going to get Eyes of Night. Your eyes are blessed, allowing you to see through the deepest gloom. You have dark vision with no maximum range. So as a human who has no dark vision, our dark vision is unlimited. Dark vision of X. Our eyes are so average, we can see forever in the dark. As an action, you can magically give the benefit of this feature. A human handing out dark vision, that just sounds, that sounds kind of patronizing. To any number of creatures you can see within 10 feet of you. The shared benefit lasts for 10 minutes. You can extend this benefit a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. So we're going to get Eyes of Night equal to wisdom modifier per long rest. Whoa, hey Rianne, welcome. Great to see you here. Good morning to you. We also have Vigilant Blessing. The knight has taught you to be vigilant. As an action, you give one creature you touch, including possibly yourself, advantage on the next initiative roll the creature makes. I'm not good at initiative, but if I have to be, I am. Right. Of course, average anime protagonist. You're never good at anything until the time you have to be. I can't see in the dark. Until I have to, then I can see forever. That's my weakness. Vigilant Blessing. You ran your first homebrew longer than a one-shot on a Wednesday? Hey, well, congrats on that, Bobicus. Can you give us a report from the trenches? And a good evening to me. I don't know, it's 4:22 a.m. right now, Rianne. I think I'm in the murkiest part of morning. But that's what's fun about time zones. I'll still take the evening, though. Don't worry. Our other channel divinity is going to be Twilight Sanctuary. You can use your channel divinity to refresh your allies with Soothing Twilight. So you present your holy symbol, a sphere of twilight emanates from you. You see, Twilight is the ultimate power because it's both light and dark. Gaining the full benefits of each from only having half the power that you're supposed to have. It has a 30-foot radius, so we can give temporary hit points or end an effect causing someone to be charmed or frightened. We're also going to get Steps of the Brave. You draw strength from your connection to Twilight, find yourself at home within its dark embrace, gaining 2 benefits. You have advantage on saving throws against being frightened, and if you're in dim light or darkness, you can use a bonus action to magically give yourself a flying speed. I can't fly until I really have to, and then I'll always fly because I'll always be in the Twilight. Do you expect this is going to be a longer ongoing campaign, Bobicus? And at level 8, we have Divine Strike. You gain the ability to infuse your weapon strikes with divine energy. Once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can cause the attack to deal extra psychic damage. I'm attacking him physically, but also I'm attacking them mentally. So I'm the backup DM for my group, and the main DM is taking a sabbatical of unknown length, and the backup DM is on a trip, so I had a 2-session thing. I told people to be 10th level, and then I wrote up a little scenario. Oh, Bobicus, yeah, you got it. And I presume everyone had fun. Shepherding some refugees through orc-infested territory, and had just ducked in a cave to hide the refugees. They're attacked by orcs from one side and cave critters from the other. Raichi, don't you jump down there. Oh, you're being a cat. I can't tell him to get down, though, because he won't listen to me. Alright, so this is our average male anime protagonist. The half cleric side. Now we're going back, and we're gonna look real quick in chapter 6 about what it takes to multiclass into a druid. You need a wisdom 13 to go into druid, and you need a wisdom 13 to go out from cleric. And so our wisdom needs to at least be a 13. So there we go. I think that'll be easy enough to do. As we multiclass into druid, this is really just redundant. Light armor, medium armor, and shields. We don't get anything else special, and we already got all that from our cleric. So the only other thing to look at is because both druids and clerics are full casters, we're actually going to be getting 17 character levels of spell slots. Now, we may not be able to cast spells of 9th level. Well, like a 9th level spell base. But we can always cast up through those slots, even if we don't have native 9th level spells. So our spell slots are still going to look like 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, and 1. It's just that our spells are going to be huddled on the back end of things. Alright, now we're going to go to Druid, and we are going to know by 8th level 3 Druid cantrips. We already have our hit dice. We don't get our proficiencies as per the initial starting because we already got that from multiclass. Multiclass. Oh, he did the thing I didn't want him to do. No, wait, he didn't. Not yet, anyway. No, don't do it. We are going to be able to speak Druidic. We do not get starting equipment, but obviously, like, whatever, a club at level 17 is eh. Spell casting we're going to get to. Not going to worry about that. We are going to get Wild Shape. And we can do that 2 times per day. Yay. And we can Wild Shape up to a CR1 creature that can fly. So we can fly by night or we can fly on our own wings. And aside from that, well, we're not worried about this other stuff because that's way too high level. So now we're going to go to the Circle of Wildfire. And we're going to get even more spells as we're going to get some circle spells here from the Circle of Wildfire. Now we're only 8th level Druid, so we don't get Flame Strike and Raise Dead just yet. So we're going to come down here and get Locate Animals or Plants and Scorching Ray. We are going to get Fireball and also Plant Growth. We are going to get Aura of Life again. You might be able to talk to your Dungeon Master and see if you can replace that with something else that's appropriate. But playing it where it lies. Aura of Life and Raise Dead. Our spell slots were 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, and 1. And our cantrips, we had 4 Cleric and 3 Druid. So we're going to say C1, 2, 3, 4, and then Druid 1, 2, 3. Very good. So casting as a Cleric, Druid, spells prepared equals C something and D something. Spellcasting ability is going to be Wisdom for both, and so our attack bonus and our save is going to be the same for either brand of spell. Coming over here, we still have Wild Shape, CR1 twice per day. Okay, and come back up here. So we get our circle spells. We also learned the Firebolt cantrip. So we're going to put Wildfire is going to give us Firebolt. There we go. We have 8 different ones now. We can also summon Wildfire. And that uses our Wild Shape charges. You can summon the Primal Spirit bound to your soul. As an action, you can expend 1 use of your Wild Shape feature to summon your Wildfire Spirit rather than assuming a beast form. It appears in an unoccupied space within 30 feet of you, and each creature within 10 feet of the spirit when it appears must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take some fire damage. It does have some combat abilities, and it does level up with you. There are the base stats, and this does tell you the actions it can take, and also how it advances. I don't want to get into the minutia of this, but you can effectively summon kind of a familiar that, would represent your soul, in a sense. So even though my emotions are dark, my soul burns ever brighter. Again, this kind of convoluted force duality average male protagonist that is good at nothing and everything at the same time, and is simultaneously both the darkest dark and the brightest bright. Then we will not get Flames of Life yet, though when we end up at 10 and 10 we will. Enhanced Bond will be our next little goodie here. The bond between your Wildfire Spirit enhances your destructive and restorative spells. Whenever you cast a spell that deals fire damage or restores hit points while your Wildfire Spirit is summoned, roll a d8 and you gain a bonus to one roll of the spell equal to the number rolled. In addition, when you cast a spell with a range other than self, the spell can originate from you or your Wildfire Spirit. Now, this is just saying your spells. As written in this playtest material, our Wildfire could be enhancing our Cleric spells. I don't know if that was meant to be the case, though if we're making an average male protagonist, of course they can work together. Of course, both my damage and my healing are maximum. Yes, the capsules have been claimed by Totem Fiend. You said, Hark, you think I meant to type Fire Shield and not Raise Dead? Oh, did I accidentally? I was talking about, or I was looking at it, yeah. Boop. Yeah, so we use our wild shapes instead to summon our, like, a physical, like a fiery manifestation of our soul, just otherness. Yeah, it'll be a fresh 50 capsules for the miniature giveaway on Wednesday. Okay, so now it is time. Let's drop our scores into this character here. I think Wisdom and Charisma are definitely going to be high for him. If we're saying that he was a student, intelligence won't be too low. But at the same time, I don't know, he could have been, he could have been younger than his 23 years. Maybe there's something like at 22, like we talk about, like societal adulthood or something. But maybe in the faith, after 22 years, you have to go and, that starts the prophecy or, whatever we need the story to do. I think that the 15 in Wisdom would be good. Male anime protagonists can't die. And so a 14 in Constitution, I think, is gonna help the cause. He's also strong. Anime male protagonists are strong, so a 13 in Strength would work. 12 Charisma, 10 Dexterity, and 8 Intelligence. So he studied religion, but I think he's kind of sheltered or ignorant of a lot of other things. Muscle brains. Now, as a variant human, we get to add 1 point to 2 different stats. In which case, we could probably round up his strength and round up his wisdom. Yeah, he's average male protagonist trope in an anime. His dexterity's 10. He has to be You know what? Maybe his intelligence is 10. He has to be clumsy, because if he's not falling on the other characters in the anime, how is he going to, be in awkward positions where his hand is giving him a squeeze, or somehow he ends up with his head underneath their skirts? So I think Dex actually should be lower. All right, now we're also getting a free feat. We're gonna get a free feat, and we also are gonna get to add in. We get from level 4 and level 8 of Cleric, we're gonna get ASIs. And then from level 4 and 8 of Druid, we're going to get ASIs. So we get to add 8 points to him. And I really think, in this case, if we add in 8 points, we can just go Wisdom 20. Or if we give him Muscle Brains, having him hit hard is going to be fine. I don't know. He is a Druid also. All right, we're going to go 20 Wisdom, and we're going to go 18 Strength. So he is... Oh, thank you, Rian. Yep, he's my bubba. That's some good scritching. All right. And we get a feat. So let's go to chapter 6. What would a character like this take as a feat? Now average anime male protagonists often talk about the power of friendship. However, he is just shy of getting something like inspiring leader, because you need a charisma of 13 or higher. And I don't want to sacrifice his muscles. Oh, you know what? This could be the case. This could be the rare case, everyone, where we give him lucky. This would be only the second character in almost 2 years of making characters that I would consider giving the lucky feat to, because it fits the character. Average male anime protagonists are extremely lucky, and that is how they win. So I could make that argument very much that he would get that. Just in case, though, let's see what else. Oh yeah, Warcaster, that's true. You've practiced casting spells in the midst of combat, learning techniques that grant you the following benefits. Advantage on constitutions throws. You can perform the somatic components of spells even when your weapons or a shield in one or both hands. When a hostile creature's movement provokes an opportunity attack, you can use your action to cast a spell. Why are you being so sneezy? I can see Warcaster. At the same time, though, he has the training, but in so much that the story exists, he hasn't really had to use it yet. Right? He lives the high life in his temple. Right? I've enjoyed fine food, drink, and high society among my temple's elite. Rough living grates on me. And so maybe... Well, actually, he won't even get the chance at another feat. That's his final ASI. So Warcaster could make sense in a degree, though I think Lucky would be the better one for him in this regard, for what and who he is, and also staying in accordance with the history of the character we've developed through his personality. And so he has a low dex and he gets lucky all the time because that's what happens in anime. The male characters just keep falling over girls and, wackiness ensues. And then, of course, this is probably going to turn into some sort of, like, school harem anime where he's going to have a bunch of people chasing after him despite him being extremely average. He's going to have, like, 5 different women contending for him. He's young enough that maybe the students are like, ooh, goo, I have a crush on you. And he's also old enough that the teacher's like, ooh, goo, or meow. I might have a thing for you. And again, he's extremely average. He can get the affection of the older students, and he can also get the affection of the younger teachers. If we're attacking, then actually, let's do this. Everything is capped off, so this is giving us a 4 strength mod. -1 dex, 2 con, 0 int, 5 wisdom, 1 charisma. Strength saving throw is 4, athletics is 4. Dex is just going to be -1 down the line. Constitution is 2. Intelligence is 0 down the line with the exception of religion, which is a 6. Wisdom saving throw, this is going to be an 11. Insight 11, medicine 11, animal handling 5, perception 5, survival 5. That's going to give us a passive perception of 15 as it's 10 plus your perception modifier. That represents your natural awareness of your character. Saves you a ton of dice rolls. Our saving throw is going to be 7. Our deception is 7. Persuasion is 7. Intimidation and performance are 1. Armor class is variable. Who knows what armor we're wearing, if any? We might have armor that is priestly robes, but then when we need them the most, they turn into triple thick plate armor, because that's how these animes go. Initiative is going to be a -1. We have unlimited dark vision, because that is a part of who we are. Now, at first level, we're getting all 8 of our D8 hit die from being a cleric. And because we can squish together the D8s from druids and the D8s from clerics, all 16 other of our character levels are going to give us 5 hit points, which is half plus 1 of our hit die. Then for all of our levels, all 17 of them, we're going to get bonus hit points equal to our constitution modifier. And so here we go. This is how we calculate our EXP. This is going to be 34. And this is going to be 80. So we have 42. And so we have 122 hit points at level 17, character level 17. If we're attacking with a strength weapon, we're swinging at a mighty +10. A dex weapon is just a +5. And if we're attacking with a spell from either spell list, Cleric or Druid, as they both cast off of Wisdom, we are striking at a +11. And to resist the effects, we need they need a 19 to resist our spells. You simply add 8. And we come back down here. We had a 19 to save and a +11 to hit. And then lastly, to determine the number of spells that you can prepare as a cleric and as a druid, within the levels that you can cast, which, by the way, would be cleric and druid can cast first level spells, cleric and druid can cast second, and cleric and druid can cast third, as well as here. However, only the cleric can cast 5th level spells because our cleric level is 9th. But we can upcast any of our spells through the slots in which we cannot prepare spells as either class. To calculate this, it's simply your level in that class plus your wisdom modifier. And so it's 5 + 9 and 5 + 8. We can prepare 14 cleric spells and 13 druid spells among all that we have here. And here we go. Congratulations, everyone. We have made the piece de la resistance. for the story we've built all this week using the Unearthed Arcana. Lastly, and not leastly, despite being leastly but also the most powerful Mary Sue, we have our average anime male protagonist.